안녕하세요. Hello, this is Alice. I would like to present my project entitled Factors Affecting the Duration of Study and Success in Graduation of the Graduate Student. This is the outline of my presentation. Let's start with defining the problem. The main objective of this study was to analyze the factors affecting the durations of study and success in graduation of master student in mathematics major IVB University Indonesia. This is the library on Python that is turning to the strength of the implemented project. There are 5 main queries have been listed to implement in the Python programming. Visualizing the first 3 queries, giving the user a general description about the data and a brief view of main investigation. Meanwhile, the graph resulted from the last 2 queries give the user information about rough probability of success in completing the study and rough estimation of study duration. The result of this project will be beneficial both for student and person in charge as well. A brief view of student duration is the content of query 3. Here we go to the main topic of the project presented in query 4 and query 5. The graph of student successfulness and the duration of study based on 4 factors. We will investigate one by one. Based on gender, regardless of gender, students have relatively same probability to complete the degree. So gender is more likely has no effect on probability to complete the degree, but it gives a bit effect to study duration where female student has a bit shorter period of study duration. In terms of age, it has a significant effect on probability to complete the degree and the duration of study. Overall, we can see the more younger the student, the more higher probability to success completing the degree and the more shorter in study duration. For supervisor factor, where supervisor is allocated into 4 categories, we can see that supervisor is relatively has no effect on probability to complete the degree, but it gives a bit effect on study duration since supervisor for modeling division give a relatively shorter period of study than other division. Lastly, student with mathematics academic background has a significant higher probability to complete the degree and shorter period of study duration, meaning that academic background has a significant effect on probability to complete the degree and study duration. In summary, for student successfulness, gender and supervisor relatively has no effect, but age and academic background has. And for duration of study, those 4 factors has the effect on it. We will see whether this condition still apply when we consider 2 factors for each graph on the next slide. Here we are. By considering 2 factors, we have graph of student successfulness based on gender combined with age, gender combined with supervisor, gender combined with academic background. For each case of student successfulness, age and academic background are not interfered by gender, meaning that the graph of student successfulness based on gender and age is relatively same with the previous graph based on age only. The graph of student successfulness based on gender and academic gap is relatively same with the previous graph, which is the graph based on academic background only. Reversely, gender factor is interfered by age and academic advisor, since there is a gap between male and female gap, where in the previous graph there is no gap between female and male at all. Therefore, age and academic factor still goes by its own, which has the effect on student successfulness, and so do the gender factor. It still has no effect on student successfulness since gender is interfered by age and academic advisor, where there is a gap here and there, meaning that gender has no power. Furthermore, supervisor has no significant effect on gender and vice versa, strongly tell us that their effect still same with the original effect, that is gender and advisor has no effect on student successfulness. With the same analysis, these four factors has an effect on study duration except gender. Progress factor that influence both successfulness and study duration. In this slide, we have graph based on age combined with supervisor, age combined with academic background, and supervisor combined with academic background. For student successfulness, supervisor is not interfered by age and academic background, meaning that it still goes by its own. Supervisor has no effect on successfulness. This condition is also supported by the fact that age and academic background is interfered by supervisor. No matter how old, regardless of academic background, each supervisor has likely equal probability to give students for success completing their study. The interesting thing in this graph is that academic background is interfered by age, while age is not interfered by academic background, which means that age has higher significant effect than academic background. With the analog analysis for student duration, age has higher significant effect on study duration rather than supervisor and academic background, and academic background has higher significant effect on study duration than supervisor. On the other words, the degree of influence on study duration for the highest to the lowest is age, academic background, and supervisor. And the last factor, which is only available on study duration, is GPA factors. From the bar chart, we can see that the higher the GPA, the shorter duration of study, meaning that GPA influences the duration of study. Combining with other factors, GPA effect is not interfered, but GPA interfered other factors, including age. From this, we can conclude that GPA has a higher effect than the other factors. In conclusion, we have investigated the duration of study and success in graduation based on gender, age, supervisor, academic background, and GPA. The probability of success and the estimation of study duration has been visualized by bar chart based on each factors and combination of two factors. By considering only one factor, for successfulness of study, gender and supervisor has no effect, while age and academic background has a significant effect. Meanwhile, for duration of study, GPA and age has a significant effect, academic background and supervisor has quite strong effect. By combining with other factors, for successfulness of study, gender and supervisor has no effect, and age has the higher effect than academic background. For duration of study, gender has no effect. The level of interference from the highest to lowest are GPA, age, academic background, and supervisor. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you. 감사합니다.